I was snooping. And I found some messages I didn't love online to this dude. A lot of talk about where people live and shit. And so as soon as I see we're exchanging where we live, I'm nervous. Because you know who else lives in that house? Me.
Everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So I need to know what the fuck. So we confront her and I'm like, what's going on? And she's like, I love him. And he's like,
How old is she?
She's probably 14. And I love this guy and he's my soulmate. And right then I'm like, no, he's not. Basically, we got into this shit about like when she's like, how do you know he's not? I'm like, because it's online. And this is early online. I'm like, you don't know. Nobody's themselves online. She goes, he's himself. I go, are you, when he responds to you, do you just write free flow or do you think about what you want to say? Do you think about what you want to say? And she's like, yeah. I go, and this website you're on is for cosplay and anime. What's your avatar? A picture of you? Or is it like a sexy anime character? So are we being ourselves? How do I know this dude isn't some guy I went to high school with? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
What the fuck? But she was adamant. And I said, okay. And he was he lived in Missouri. And I was getting ready to go do a show in Missouri with Larry the Cable Guy. And so I was like, you know what, Beth, my wife, I said, I'm gonna take her. We're gonna meet this guy, and I'm gonna prove to her that he's not real.
Oh my god!
So that's how, right? Because you know what dads like as much as their kids having fun and enjoying themselves, being right.
I was just about to say being right.
Oh man, how badly? Do you know how badly I was looking forward to being right? You know how I knew I was gonna be right? I go, let me see a picture of this guy. Because all I saw was the avatar. I go, do you even know what he looks like? And she goes, yeah, he sent me a picture. So she printed it out. Do you know the picture he sent? He sent her.
This is Lawrence Taylor.
Dude. He sent her a photoshopped picture, you know, like kind of art decoed out of 21 Jump Street Johnny Depp.
That's what he's sending out.
So, and she doesn't fucking know 21 Jump Street Johnny Depp.
It's not even relevant.
Right? So, and
so he probably is your age.
So she said to me, and he's so cute. I'm like, oh, he is cute. I'm like, he's one of
this guy right here.
He's one of the best looking people who's ever walked planet Earth. And I'm like, I told Beth, I'm like, I feel very confident. Let's take her. On the way there, she tells me, and she's, by the way, the plane trip, she buys him these chocolates. I'm so excited to give him these chocolates. And about an hour in, she's like, I'm just going to have one. It's a shame. She's chocolate. And she was like, he wouldn't mind if I had two. Right? Because it's two and there's two of us. And she had another one. She was like, you know, I'm just going to split it with him. I'm going to have half. And by the time we landed, she was like, we didn't think
I feel like shit.
But on the plane, when she's eating her chocolates, and super excited and so chatty, she tells me one of the reasons that she's all so excited to go is she's never been kissed before. And she wants him to be her first kiss. And now there's a lot of conflict for me, dude, because I still want to be right. But this is such a unique experience for me to be able to be part of. The fact that she asked me, I'm with her, and she's telling me this is such a crazy thing for a daughter to say to her father. So I'm like, oh, I want to be right, but I want this to be good for her. You know what I mean? But I know we're not going to run into Johnny Depp. So I'm instantly thinking, if she gets past the initial disappointment for whatever fucking dude.
Now, what's the Peter DeLuise? We might run into him. Okay. But we ain't seeing Johnny Depp. Okay.
Not in Poplar Bluff, Missouri, we're not, right? So she's holding up a picture of Johnny Depp looking for him, and I feel like telling her he's not going to be here. Let's lower the paper and look for what seems like is going to fit, because I can't
believe I've never heard this.
I'm coming with her. I know he's coming with his dad. This story's in my book, so if you and it's a little more extended in there, but so I'm looking for who I think fits. Dad, son, looking around also. We're out in front of the arena where I'm playing with Larry the Cable Guy. So we told them to come to the show because the dad is a huge Larry the Cable Guy fan. So, shocker. So,
Yeah.
So I see two father-son walking up, and this kid is not Johnny Depp. He is the pale. You know when you see someone who's so pale, he stepped in a pail of pale. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, have you been under the ocean? Like that kind of, like the color of my legs. You've seen my legs.
Yeah.
So he's walking up with this dude. I'm like, hey, Kate. And he knows
It's Ronnie Depp.
Yeah. It's close. It's close. Yeah.
It's close.
So he walks up and he knows what Kate looks like. And he goes, because he knows the picture he sent, man.
Because she sent a real one.
Yeah. Because she doesn't look like an underwater creature, you know?
Yeah.
So he goes, Kate, and I could see her go. Her face just was like, but I'm there, first kiss. She doesn't want to admit to me that she's right. So she's like, hey, and they real awkward. And I shake this dude's hand, real nice dude. I'm going to give you one distinguishing feature on him.
The dad or the kid?
The dad.
Okay.
This is not a judgment on the man. I'm just telling you what I'm looking at. It doesn't matter what he was dressed like. All I need to tell you is, you know your front 8 teeth?
Yeah, I'm familiar with my teeth.
Yeah. So you probably never thought of your front 8 because you got them all. My man had one.
Come on, dude.
And it was an extra long front tooth that hung over his
With
lip.
a bottle over
Dude,
it.
it looked like that tooth ate all the other teeth. You know what I mean? Like, there can only be one. It's right. So,
Everybody get out! One, two.
yeah, just right. So and it was long, dude. Like all the calcium apparently when he ate it went to that one tooth, and the other teeth were like catch it.
It's just all
It just withered away.
It's not even a tooth.
Yeah.
It's just a calcium deposit.
Right. So.
Oh, God.
So I'm looking at this dude. I see, the guy that shows up that's Ronnie Depp. So I got Ronnie Depp and this dude. And Ronnie says to me, my dad is really excited to be here. This is Larry the Cable Guy is his hero. And there are almost 10 times the amount of people in that arena that are in our hometown. So this is like a huge deal for us. So thank you so much.
Same amount of teeth.
Yeah.
Same amount of teeth.
So we go in. They're right up front. The one good thing I will tell you, man, and I genuinely the one thing about this on a side note, to see how happy this dude was so cool. It also gave me such great perspective on I'm just here to do another show. This was the biggest day of his life.
And he's getting treated like royalty.
Yeah.
Way better than a dentist treats him.
So it was really things like that always help me with perspective. Like, I have a pretty cool gig.
Fuck yeah, we do.
Do you know what I mean? And
Well, I remember.
Yeah, what it used to be.
I remember
yeah.
what it was like.
I mean, look at this
Look
picture,
at that.
bro.
Come on, man.
So we have the show, and they're sitting in front. We go backstage. This was a little embarrassing. When in backstage, Larry the Cable Guy is Dan Whitney.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a different accent.
Does he? Oh, I didn't know. I thought he had that. I thought that was his accent.
No.
Oh, wow.
He got a different accent. So the guy walks back, and I got him in the green room. He's super excited to meet Larry the Cable Guy, and he says, hey, I just got one question. I'm a big fan. I never thought I'd be able to meet you. And Dan's the most gracious dude. And he was like, I'm great. Thanks for coming to the show. And the guy goes, I just got one question. How come you use your real accent on stage and your fake one back here?
That's a great question.
And Cable Guy never took his eyes off of him and just goes, I'm sorry, who brought you?
Good job.
Yeah, it was like my 4th gig with this
Right,
dude. I'm
yeah.
like, hey, man. But we walk out. And so I'm like, hey, everybody, I'd like to treat for dinner. Let the kids talk a little bit. Whatever you want to eat. This is, dude. I go, whatever you want to eat. And he goes, whatever? And I go, whatever. He goes, I'd like to eat a steak. And I was thinking, I'd like to watch you eat a steak. I think this is a good idea, right? So we get in the car, but when he said steak, he was like, I saw there's a steak and shake. I'm like, yeah, whatever. That's cool. We'll go get a steak and shake.
You want good steak?
Yeah, yeah, top notch. All right. So when we get in the car, I got to get all my jokes out now. Do you know what I mean? I got to get my daughter's there. I'm like, so how do you think he eats the steak? Do you think his son chews it for him and then puts it on his plate? Or does he say, how do you want your steak cooked? Blended? Like what?
Blended. How do you think he doesn't floss?
Does he floss with a thimble? Does he just put it on a... So she's like, stop it. I'm like, how's it going? And she said, well, we're not exactly soulmates. And I said, do you still want to do this first kiss? She's like, I don't know. I don't know yet. I go, okay, well, we still got time. We get to the restaurant. The longer they're sitting together, the more they realize they're not soulmates. And we pay for the food, and the dude is super nice. The kid is super nice. Just my daughter, it's Ronnie Depp. It's not Johnny Depp.
Yeah.
And he's running out of things to say because he can't think about his responses for an hour or a day before he gets back to her. So, nice enough kid, but not for her. We're walking out, and I say to her, Kate, do you want your first kiss? And she's like, well, I go, hey, what happens in Poplar Bluff stays in Poplar Bluff. I said, but if you want to get the nerves out of a first kiss until you have your actual first kiss, so you can figure out a few things let's just do it. She was like,
you're in on it.
And she was like, you think so? I go, do you want him? She was like, I do. I just want to get it. She goes, I came all this way. I've been thinking about it. So I catch them when they're walking outside. I go, hey, how about we go back to the hotel? And I was like, you and I can sit in the lobby. And I told them, I said, there's a couple chairs by the elevators. You guys can go sit there for like 15 minutes. So they walk over to the chairs. Me and the dude sit in the hotel lobby. This is the opening line. He goes, my dad ran over me with a tractor when I was 8. And I was like, well, I hope this lasts 15 minutes. I'm really interested in this. You know me well enough to know that line hooks me 100%. I'm done. Fuck that. They can take an hour, however long it takes you to tell me this story.
Got one tooth.
Yeah.
And that's how you... I'm wondering if the tractor cut that fucking mouth off.
Dude. So my daughter, they were there for like 3 minutes. My daughter comes back. And she's like, I'm ready to go now. I'm like, everything all right? She goes, yeah, I'm just ready. And I go, okay. You want to say goodbye to everybody? She goes, bye. She kind of scurries out to the elevators. I go, okay. And I told the kid, nice to meet you, son. And, and I tell the dude, he goes, we should stay in touch. I'm like, you know what?
Hang out with your dentist. I'm good.
So, yeah. Let me know when you enter the corn on the cob championship, and I'll get there, man. So, I'll go watch him eat some corn.
I will too. You probably put it in there and slide it right off. Like, God damn, look at him. It's a machine.
So, do you want to know how he ate the steak?
Yes, of course.
He cut it into little pieces, but he mushed it on the top of the roof of his mouth with his tongue. He went
like up under, and pushed it against that tooth.
I guess the tongue must have gotten so strong. You know what I mean? It's a muscle. It just kind of, and you'd see him go. And just kind of, and I was like, that is the fucking. So we go back, we get in the elevator, we go up to the room. We get in the hotel room, me and her, and I'm in my bed, and she's getting ready, hasn't said a word about it. And I'm pretending to watch TV, and she sits on her bed and starts to watch TV, and I turn TV off. I go, wait a second. All of that, we make the plan, first kiss. You're gonna tell me anything? She goes, all right, what? I don't want to talk about it after this. I go, okay. She goes, we were sitting there, and I realized he had never been kissed before either. It was both our first kiss. And I went to lean in, and we leaned in too fast, and he had a giant pimple on his chin.
I thought you were going to say he had one big bottom.
No. He had one giant pimple on his, and when they went too hard, and her face popped his pimple.
No, and it squirted on her face?
It exploded, right? So now...
Oh, that is sick, dude. That is gross.
Terrible.
That
Now,
is gross.
You know me, man. I'm trying not to laugh. And I'm also trying not to slap myself on the back for being right. But I'm also feel bad for my daughter. You know what I mean? But it was the craziest. I learned, by the way, that trip, you know what I learned? She pointed a lot of things out to me about the way I parented her. Because she did a lot of cosplay and anime. And I lean on humor when I don't know things or understand
yeah, we
things.
make fun of it. Yes.
And I said something to her about, and she goes, yeah, but you don't care about that. I go, what do you mean? I listen to everything you say. And she goes, yeah, but you call it, you never pronounce it right as a joke. And you're always making some sort of joke. But you never make a joke about Jacob when he talks about baseball. Or I go, yeah, but I understand baseball. She goes, well, then why don't you just learn something about what I'm doing?
Put this sexy panda costume on.
Put these elven ears on. But she said, she goes, I know you think you're there, but you're not present. You're not there when I'm talking to you because you don't care about what it is that I'm doing. I said, I care. She goes, yeah, but not enough to find out what it is or listen, and you make a joke because you don't know what I'm talking about. And that doesn't make it weird. That just means that you haven't taken the time to figure out what I do. And I was like, yep. Well, she was 100% right. But it was a great trip on so many levels. Like, I learned so much about her. I did learn a lot about myself. I was right. It ended up being a great story.
For you to tell.
Yeah.
her version is not so great.
Yeah, well, listen, you know what? I'm not so concerned with that.
Yeah,
because at the end of the day, man, even though I wanted it to be, and she obviously had a great real first kiss and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, she deleted that account. And she's even said to this day, she was like, yeah, I don't believe anything I read on there from anybody. Which, if it took one broken pimple,
hey, job well done, Dad.
You gotta, and listen, you gotta break a couple pimples along the way. You know what I mean?
On someone else's face. Oh God, it's sick.